Alito, grand rising. And I know some people are asleep. I know that some people are, they're off into the dreamland. You know what I'm saying? I normally I normally don't come on at a time like this. I normally don't come on until morning times, and sometimes in the evening. But as I do, I'm working. It's been a crazy day. I actually been at this facility since yesterday. I'm in Raycon, Georgia, and I've been at this facility all since 8:28 a.m. yesterday. And man, I tell you, man, you got to have some patience and you got to have some time. Oh man, but I'm a morning person, definitely not a night owl. But they just about done getting my load together. But I was thinking, and I had a chance to go on my other platform and see some of the comments, and it was just one particular comment that I just had to share with my YouTube family, is the fact that the South African guy was very excited and proud to know that we are doing what we're doing. And I want you guys to understand that it takes a while for people to understand other people's content or why we doing what we're doing. And he said he's just so tired of hearing us, the Americans, calling themselves slaves and embracing slavery. That like that's the beginning of history when it comes down to melanated people. And I want people to understand that you can only we blame other ethnic backgrounds of people. We blame people, but when you think about them, they go to school too, and they're being brainwashed as much as we've been brainwashed to believe. You know what I'm saying? So I want people to understand, the more we've been educating ourselves and educating others, we're becoming stronger as a nation. We are becoming stronger the more that we have been doing our own research, working or talking to family members, dealing. Most of us have knew this information from our own family members, and what better to learn from is your family members. Genealogy is the strongest gift. Genealogy is the strongest gift. It's powerful than somebody's taking some blood and trying to find out DNA that you belong to somewhere, when scientifically you're not going to find that person that they claim that you are related to. A lot of this stuff has been for over years. A lot of this stuff has been put in a system. It's been a systematically or supremacy of keeping other groups of people from knowing who they are. Everything is about power and everything is about money. And a lot of people don't realize the dynamics of the world. Everything runs off of money and power. And they have the haves and the have nots of the world. And you have to always remember that everybody's not going to love you. People going to, they're not going to love you like your mother do, your grandmother, your grandfather. Everybody's just not going to love you the same. Me going back watching the old Jenny Jones and some of these old talk shows, and as they were bringing races, and they were talking about race mixing, and they were talking about how much they hate the blacks, and they didn't want their daughters with the blacks. Well, I agree. I just don't believe that we should, because these people have always hated the skin color of our people. Never give us a chance as far as just common nature. They didn't never give us a chance. They just judge you. And these are old ways of their ancestors of trying to oppress us. And we have to understand, us as a nation, we've been oppressed for a very long time in the minds of Hollywood. the way they project us in the movies as always being a slave. And most of you guys didn't know about us being slaves until you heard it from the movie Roots. A lot of your people, a lot of people before the movie Roots didn't know that they had any slave history. And unless their grandmother told them about there was on plantations and stuff like that. But then too, the people that were supposedly on plantations, old deeds, old loans, old a lot of things, and slavery for them was debt. And people ignore the immigrants that came over, that were Italians who came on ships in big old droves. So when they do history, they teaching you history of your oppressor, not 100% your history, but they're showing you the history of us and repainting the people, and that's what they have been doing. And many times you see on a lot of you see these documentaries, you see a lot of these you see cartoon imageries whenever you're trying to do the research of people of color coming over from slave ships, and you never can make sense of it. You're just trying to figure out how could they get so many of us over here unwillingly. And when you look at the history and you look at it, you talk about the 1900s of of um, of Europeans that came over, some of the Italians that willingly came over and came with diseases and spread it to the people that were already here. Okay, shout out to Radaman, and spread it a lot of these things to people that were already here. Okay, so these so-called history makers who lied about history, and I want people to understand these so-called history makers that go around and do the things that they do, they taint history, they repaint history. Okay, so when you do you go pull up documentaries and you find out that you can actually see people that are white folks are coming in from other countries. You can actually see these people, and you can see them on old videos of these people coming to America, but you can't see people of color coming to America. And we have been poisoned in the mind to believe so. Poisoned in the mind to believe that our history lies in 1492 of America. And many Africans have debunked us of being a part of their community. But you guys have wanting to fit in with a nation that don't know you. And there was never no disrespect towards Africa. It was only trying to educate our people. We never had problems with Africans. We never had problems with Native Americans. The problem is they have a problem with us, because if we start telling the truth about who we are, then we become a threat. Shout out to Queen Bee. Yes, we were already here, already on this land, a land of nature, a people that were nature, people that did not have a religious belief. Religion was brought here from the colonizers. Our spiritual belief, we were spiritual people, people of nature. We heal through nature, through herbs, spice, all kinds of things that we heal through. And we came through nature. We never came with religion. And as time went on, we have been manipulated. Laniel in the house, we have been in the dark. And then you have to wonder why that when you listen to most African people, they don't even know your real history. They know nothing of you. other than the things that has been fed to them. And many times we get upset with Africans, but they were trained to believe these things. They were trained to believe as a young, why you think when Africans come to America, they pass you by. They very impressed with European people. They barely talk to you. Some, not all, but they barely talk to you. When you know that you are related, you can feel the energies. You know your bloodline. And I think what people don't understand, once you know energies, energies understand energies. There's a connection. You know your bloodline. See, it wasn't a coincidental that the fact that we don't share the same blood type. Even when we talk about scientific facts, that because somebody's skin color is similar to your skin color, it does not mean that you're related. But we have been pushed in the system to believe these things due to the color of your skin. And they laugh. See, that's the thing of white supremacy, of letting you know that, hey, if I let these true native people of this land, aborigine of this land, know who they were, then they would be so much better, and we could not control them. See, everything in life is about control. And there's motives to everything that people do. And if they can control a certain group of people, the minds, through education, through their education system, and they have put a fast one on our people. So why would I go to Africa and get people when I can enslave the people that's already here? Because I know that if I go get the people from Africa and bring the people from Africa here, I may lose half of my stock. You got indigenous in the house that I may lose half of my stock. Now I'm bringing all these people here, and it's a big risk. And then you live this fantasy that they had cargo ships in them times, in them days, and they had the proper equipment, even to feed you would have been a task. See, they have to feed these people. Then they have to make sure that they dominate them. They have to some kind of be, if you are bringing 300 slaves and you got 10 slave catchers, you really believe that they can hold down 300 African slaves on a cargo ship? Do you really believe this dumb shit that has been told to us in school, that these people nature happens, women have to go through the menstruational cycles, and men and women have to urinate and they have to defecate? I mean, you're gonna really tell me that wouldn't cause a certain disease on this so-called ship? See, I believe that Africans came, but I believe they came a little bit more in recent history. And I also believe that some of the people that when they came down, I believe that the Queen of England, some of them people were taken, our people were taken in reverse. But to believe that 300, 500, 800, 1,000 slaves came over here on slave ships, you got to be, you really need to get your head checked, because they had sailboats. And I don't understand these things, because now you have Africans that are coming out and spreading the truth. Africans are really coming out and actually spreading the truth. But we have been programmed so long in the system of believing that we are from there. And even when an African tells you that you're not from there, you just can't even get it, grasp it in your mind. Oh, they're just lost, brother. Even when somebody of that race tell you that you're not a part of them, you still going to want to believe that you're from them because you've been programmed for so long in a system that has been slaving your mind. See, what's worse than a physical slave is mental slavery. What's worse than physical slavery is mental slavery. And that's the matrix that we have been involved in for many years. And I want people to understand that people hit you through education, and you're only learning of your oppressor in the opinions of what your oppressor, not a fact. Because your science teacher, your professor said so, you believe it. And that's what's wrong with our people. That's what's wrong with us, folks. We believe things based on education, based on what a white man or somebody has told us. And things that are not facts on sight. You believe that a Jesus existed, but you didn't ever see a Jesus that existed. And I want people to understand that. You believe a story that is told to you. But the things that you can see, the things that you actually can see, you don't believe. You believe great stories, great storytellers, great books. And I want people to understand it. See, that's the difference. I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm finally got these people. I've been from 8:28 in the morning from yesterday. And they just finally finished with my load. And it's just been really, really, really frustrating. Being a truck driver is just, I mean, wow. I mean, I commend all the truck drivers out there that's out here that's feeding the nation, that's feeding America, that's out here dropping all the supplies that everybody needs. A lot of people don't really understand some of the things that we really go through as being truck drivers. You know what I'm saying? So it's a sacrifice. It's a sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? It is. Trust me on that. Shout out to Sour Patch. Man, that's Sour Patch. Please subscribe to Sour Patch. That was one of my first ever subscribers, and I tell you, she works very hard to get me over 1,000 subscribers. I'm never gonna forget. She used to share all my content to her. So please subscribe to Sour Patch. I always had a beautiful content. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Sour Patch. But I just want people to understand that we have listened too long, well too long, of the opinions of Europeans or the opinions of others who called themselves these professors, who called themselves historians. And even some of their own people are turning against them and teaching the truth and saying, hey, I have even seen, I've seen even white folks telling the truth now. I'm starting to see white scientists saying that we were already here, that we were replaced. I'm starting to see that. And I want people to understand that. I'm starting to see that a lot of people really understand, because what makes most sense to you? What your grandmother told you, your grandfather told you, or your school teacher? What makes most sense? Don't you value your family? Why do you value your teacher over your family? Your grandmother been telling you that you got engine in your bloodline, and you just turn around and you know what you do? You sit there and go to school and you let these people call you a slave. And I don't understand that. You know, it's cool to watch Jingo. It's cool to watch 12 Years a Slave. It's cool to watch all that, but that is nothing but low vibration. And we got to turn away. You guys ought to get tired of them Hollywood making movies stating about the history of slavery. Who were you before slavery? Who were you before the colonizers came to America? And that's the thing that we need to understand. We got to stop allowing the outside to program the minds of our children and start developing our own way. We have been here, the very first man and woman bones and fossils, everything that they have discovered was our people. But you allowed a foreigner to tell you who you are in this land. You did that. You're the only people that went from multiple backgrounds. They called you Negro. They called you Indian. They called you Aboriginal. They called you Afro-American. They called you color. They called you black. And they called you African American. You the only people that have been reclassified multiple times. That should tell you something. That should tell you something. This government has been changing your heritage every so many years. They change you. When Brother Malcolm X said that you are the Aborigine, you just let that pass you by. Yes, people don't chose their grandmothers. People don't chose their grandfathers. They chose the white man. But I got to end this, and I want to thank everybody. Shout out to my brother Ryder, man. Please subscribe to that brother. Shout out to everybody that came in tonight. I gotta shut down because I'm finally getting my load and I gotta move off. I might do another session today, sometime today. But you guys have a great morning, and go get you a nap, go get you a sleep, whatever. If you don't get you no sleep, go get you some coffee, go chill out. You know what I'm saying? But I gotta go ahead on and do my thing. But you guys have a blessed one. I gotta be out here.